Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel, Mazz Reporter. Today is January 14, 2026. World feels like it's shifting fast. Politically, economically, and even socially. From major policy U-turns in the UK to explosive protests in Iran. From US political turmoil to rising tensions across Europe and Asia. In today's Mazz Report, we break down the most important UK, US, Europe and global news, simply, clearly, and without the noise. Let's start at home. With the United Kingdom. United Kingdom news. Labour government U-turn on digital IDs. The Labour government, led by Prime Minister Keir Starmer, has dropped plans to make digital IDs mandatory for workers. Originally, the plan would have required workers to hold digital identity documents. Now, the government says digital checks will still be used for new jobs, but having a digital ID will be optional. Opposition parties reacted strongly. The Conservatives called it a humiliating U-turn. Privacy campaigners, however, welcomed the decision, saying public trust and personal freedoms matter. Scotland's new budget, tax changes and mansion tax. In Scotland, the government unveiled its new budget, including changes to income tax and a new mansion tax. Homes valued at $1 million or more will now face extra taxation. The Scottish Government says this money will help fund public services and make the tax system fairer. Critics argue it could discourage investment, while supporters say the wealthy should contribute more during tough times. Northern Powerhouse Rail is back. The UK government has revived Northern Powerhouse Rail, following the controversial scrapping of parts of HS2. The plan includes major rail upgrades, linking cities like Leeds, York, Bradford, Sheffield, and even Birmingham to Manchester. Officials say this will boost jobs, productivity, and regional growth, especially in Northern England. UK wants to match US economic growth. Business Secretary Peter Kyle says the UK wants to go toe-to-toe with the United States on economic growth. The government claims $79 billion new investment, 50,000 new jobs in just one quarter. The focus is on technology, manufacturing, and keeping big companies anchored in Britain. UK responds to Iran crisis. The UK has summoned Iran's ambassador following reports of brutal killings during protests. Foreign Secretary Yvette Cooper announced new sanctions as pressure mounts on Iran from across Europe and the US. And that brings us to the biggest international story right now. Iran. Protests escalate, regime under pressure. Iran is facing its biggest uprising in decades. Human rights groups report over 2,000 deaths, with executions and violent crackdowns increasing. The economy is collapsing. Their currency rial is in free fall. Banks are under strain. Water and electricity shortages are widespread. Protests have spread across major cities, with chants openly calling for the end of the regime. Trump issues strong warnings. US President Donald Trump has taken a hard line. He says help is on the way for protesters and warned Iran of very strong action if executions continue. The US has imposed 25% tariffs on any country trading with Iran, raising fears of wider economic and military escalation. Elon Musk has also confirmed Starlink internet access is available in Iran, helping protesters bypass blackouts. Global concerns grow. Countries like India, Saudi Arabia, and European states are worried. India fears trade fallout. Gulf states fear oil market chaos. Russia warns against using protests as an excuse for war. Iran is under pressure from the streets, from inside the system, and from abroad. US news. Greenland tensions escalate. President Trump is once again pushing to gain control of Greenland, an autonomous Danish territory. US officials hint at possible action within months. Denmark has responded firmly, saying any force would destroy NATO unity. European leaders are scrambling to prevent a crisis. Chaos in US justice system. In Minnesota, senior federal prosecutors have resigned after pressure related to an ICE shooting case. At the same time, aggressive immigration raids have sparked public clashes, arrests and viral protests. The resignations highlight growing tension inside the US justice system, Supreme Court and transgender sports. The US Supreme Court appears likely to uphold bans on transgender women competing in women's sports. With 27 states already enforcing such laws, this could shape US culture and law for years to come. Investigation into Fed chair. Jerome Powell. The Department of Justice has issued grand jury subpoenas targeting Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. Powell says he won't bow to political pressure, raising concerns about central bank independence and market stability. Europe and global news. Europe versus Russia. War escalates. Russia has launched its heaviest air attacks of 2026 on Ukraine. Cities like Kiev and Kharkiv were hit, leaving over 1 million people without power or heat in freezing temperatures. NATO warns the threat from Russia, China, and Iran is long-term, urging higher defense spending. EU moves against Iran. The EU has summoned Iran's ambassador and is preparing new sanctions over the deadly protest crackdown. European leaders say Iran's actions are unacceptable. Asia flashpoints. Japan and South Korea deepen ties amid China tensions. North Korea launches new missile tests. Taiwan Strait tensions remain high. Bangladesh faces political unrest ahead of elections. Meanwhile, the World Bank upgraded India's growth forecast to 7.2%, making it the economic engine of South Asia. From London to Tehran, Washington to Brussels, and across Asia, the world is entering a period of deep political and economic change. The question isn't whether things will shift, it's how fast and who will be ready. If you found this breakdown helpful, like, subscribe and share. And let us know in the comments which story matters most to you.